Hey there, you're watching Take It Out with me, Akanksha Swaroop.
And I'm Ankit Toteza, and we welcome you to a brand new season of Take It Out.
Which will not just be about gadgets and apps.
Absolutely, because in this season we are going to get you all the tech that you care about. And that's not all. We are going to inject you with all the fun doses of technology in this season.
But before we head into the episode, it's time for the highlights.
A look at how the OnePlus 6 performs in real-world tests.
Time to break the megapixel myth, because an 8-megapixel camera could be better than a 16-megapixel camera.
How we all are getting some of the emoji really wrong.
And some simple tips to help you buy the right Android phone. Interestingly enough, there is much hype around the OnePlus 6. And you already have the phone. Do you actually recommend it?
I've been using it for quite some weeks. The question is, would you take my recommendation? Because you never do that, and you know that, right?
Good question, Ankit. The answer is no.
I'm not surprised because you're always blunt and now I'm used to it. Okay, fine. You don't believe me, right?
Obviously not. Because, it's subjective, Ankit. You may like a phone, I may not, and vice versa.
Fine, I give it to you. You make sense sometimes. But you believe in tests, right?
Of course I do.
That's what we have done with the OnePlus 6. We've put it to different tests in low light, outdoors, basically in every possible condition. We've tested the OnePlus 6. And we found out how it delivers, like does it deliver what it promises? So why don't you and all of you check out our full review of the OnePlus 6.
OnePlus is out with another flagship phone, the OnePlus 6. The phone has been creating a lot of buzz, but is it worth the hype? That's something we're going to find out right here. We'll put the phone to various real-world tests and show you the results. And you can decide for yourself its true potential. After all, it's your hard-earned money, so you should be the judge. Looks are subjective, and it applies to the design and appearance of a phone as well. It's quite possible that you may be totally floored by a phone's design and the other person may not fancy it at all. So to have a fair opinion on how appealing the OnePlus 6 is, we're going to give the phone to our friends and let them use it for a while and then see what they have to say about it.
It's a little big, but I think I can deal with it.
So the one thing I really like about this phone is how easily it fits into your pocket, because that's a big deal for me.
The rounded edges are great.
So this is also pretty easy to grip.
It's pretty lightweight, that I must say. It's sleek, it's shiny.
The screen is very smooth, so that's great. Usually what people want an iPhone for is the touch is extremely smooth, so that's great with this.
But I heard that they have an Avengers series. Definitely I would like to get that series.
Tell you what, I wouldn't mind watching Netflix shows on this phone at all. The video quality is quite beautiful.
Probably you need a cover to cover this phone because it's too slippery. So you need to be careful that you don't break it.
I wouldn't want to put a cover on this phone. I would want to show off the way it looks.
No wonder the display is attractive and produces vivid colors. It won't be wrong to say that its display is one of the best in class in the market today. The OnePlus 6's camera is promising and quite like other flagships. It offers a lot of interesting features. All that is fine, but results are what matters. So we will try some of its features in different settings and check its potential. Here is what the OnePlus 6's camera generates in outdoor lighting. We must tell you that the results here are pure vanilla. They have not been treated in any way. And here is a look at how the camera performs in environments where there isn't too much light around you. The camera does a great job not only outdoors, but in low light setups too. And not just images, we put it to certain video tests as well. These are videos taken with the OnePlus 6 in a normal mode. This one is a time-lapse. And here is how it captures a slow-mo video. And how can we miss the front camera? This is for all you selfie lovers. We're pretty impressed with the OnePlus 6's cameras. They not only generate bright results, but they also capture true-to-life colors. It's time for another important test, the audio test. There's no better place than a noisy one to test a phone's speakers. Let's see how loud and clear are its speakers. The bar is noisy, but we can still hear the audio results it produces. Clearly, the phone packs a pretty good speaker, loud and clear. Here's an important question now. It may have a great camera and a display, but how does it perform overall? Interestingly, the phone ticks all the right boxes. It didn't hang or slow down at any point of time throughout the review period, and the battery gave us enough juice to last for a day. And it comes packed with top-of-the-line engineering and a clean interface. We give the phone a thumbs up, so if you are planning to buy it, we suggest you go for the 128GB model over the 64GB one, because in today's digital world, storage is never enough. And yes, for all you Marvel fans, there is also a limited edition Avengers model of the phone. And it's not just about the Avengers logo, it packs double the amount of storage than the high-end regular OnePlus 6, at 256GB. And of course, it comes with an extra price. The Avengers edition carries a price tag of 45,000 rupees. We advise you to make a wise decision.
What are you doing? The show is on, they're waiting for us.
Ankit, their front camera is fabulous. And little wonder why, because it's got 16 megapixel front camera.
Go on, anything else?
I love their camera.
Three things here. You're still stuck with the OnePlus. And secondly, you're telling me what is good and what is bad in the phone. I know it, I've been using it for quite some weeks. Didn't I tell you that? And hang on. The most important thing. You think it takes good pictures because it has a 16 megapixel front camera.
Obviously, are you telling me that a camera with lesser megapixels is as good as a front camera with 16 megapixels?
I like it. Someone is gaining wisdom now.
Alright, I think it's time for you to break it down for our viewers, the megapixel myth.
Hey, I've got a new phone and it has got 20 megapixel camera, you see?
Wow, 20 megapixel camera, that's amazing. Now your photos are gonna be brilliant, almost like DSLR quality.
Wait, did you hear that conversation? That's actually most of us. A lot of us think that the higher the camera megapixel number, the better the photos. Or let's put it this way. People usually think that a 10 megapixel camera is better than a 16 megapixel camera. Or say a 16 megapixel camera is better than a 20 megapixel camera. This is a myth. That doesn't hold true. The fact is that a 16 megapixel camera can be better than a 20 megapixel camera. Yes, you heard that right. Remember that a megapixel count alone is never a true indicator of the image quality. It's like the weight of a person does not define his strength. Like it would be wrong to say that Hulk is more powerful than Iron Man, right? Now there are two obvious questions. One is, what is the point of cameras with more megapixels then? And secondly, if not the photo quality, then what does the camera megapixel count actually tell? Understand that the megapixel number determines that how much you can enlarge an image without losing the photo quality. Let's say in this photo you want to crop out only 2 donuts. And you can do that without losing the quality if the megapixel count is higher. Okay, there is another way to understand this. The megapixel number primarily relates to the print size than the photo quality. Say you want to produce a wall-size photo or you want an image for a hoarding, you need pictures rich in pixels. And now the question is that if not the megapixel count, what defines the camera quality? What is it that you should look for in a camera? You must know that there are so many things that go into producing a good photo: sensor size, pixel size, aperture, and the lens type. We won't get into technicalities here. All we want you to understand here is that don't fall for the megapixel hype. companies are using the megapixel trick to attract customers for years, simply because it's working for them. People believe that more megapixels generate better photos. But you need to break free from the megapixel myth and become a smart buyer. Learn that the megapixel count is important, but it does not define the image quality. So next time you want to know about a phone's camera quality, don't look for the megapixel number. Instead, look for reliable reviews or test the quality yourself.
Okay, so that was pretty insightful, Ankit.
Like always.
But I bet you can't beat this one. Do you use emojis?
Who doesn't? I use it almost every day in almost every sentence on Facebook, Instagram,
blah, blah, blah.
WhatsApp.
I get you. So tell me, what is this one?
You mean this one or this one?
It's a high five.
It's a folded hands prayer emoji.
Of course not. Go and find it out on your WhatsApp. It's a high five.
Are you new to the emoji world? Okay, you do one thing. Go to your WhatsApp and search for folded hands.
No, it's a high five. And I guess you're not the only one who's got it wrong. You've clearly got it wrong. Just like a million viewers, including a host of millennials. So while he finds out that it's not folded hands and that it's a high five, you find out the misunderstandings behind emojis.
It's folded hands.
High five.
Wait. It's high five too.
It's... I don't know what it is, actually.
But what is this emoji?
No! They made the emoji wrong, I guess. Oops.
So deep. It's Wonder Woman. You know?
I'm bad at this. Now I know.
But who gives a hug like this? What do I identify? The heart is interesting. I can't make out what the rest, you know. There's even a Greek character there. Oh, it's like one of those croissants, you know.
That's a pile of poo with eyes.
Doordarshan. Doordarshan.
This is a sex show. Advanced flirting, that's 69.
Avengers. Captain America. Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman.
Actually, that's marriage. You can tell the person that if you were just a little bit better, I would give you a ring.
Isn't this a cartoon character?
A pretty blonde girl with big eyes. She's saying that I am what I am and I'm blonde.
Isn't she in Big Hero 6 or something? Something's upset this guy.
Simple, crying, sorrow, sadness, repentance.
High five.
I think that's two-handed slap when you call a girl blonde.
Oh, you may have jumped the gun by now. Probably many of you may have concluded that old people don't really understand the language of emoji as clearly as the young generation does. But we say, hold on. In fact, you must understand there are various emoji icons that most of us get all wrong, even the millennials. Don't believe us? Check it out for yourself.
Angry Chinaman.
No.
What is this?
No high fives there. 6'9", no comments.
This is like a sun sign or something.
Oh, very wrong.
I would only stick to this one when I'm giving sort of wishes, some sort of wishes to...
This is a star emoji. You can send it to people like me.
Shooting star? It's a brown chocolate.
This is definitely poop. Is it?
The pooping...
And you send it to people with those kind of faces. This is a kiss emoji. You send it to loved ones.
When someone is not in front of me, so I have to send this emoji. Flying kiss. Spreading love, basically.
I'm trying to be smart or overly smart with other people. I'm trying to show myself off.
Whenever I talk, so they would be like, what are you talking?
They say, whatever, I don't care.
Being a little sarcastic, I would just, in the end, I would say, yeah.
High fives? 10 high fives?
It's like hiding my face, I guess.
It's like flying bird?
Yeah, what is this? What is this? I want to know what is this.
Sweet potato?
Change this emoji.
A shocker sort of an emoji or something that's very surprising.
This is the shocker emoji.
Yeah, when on one of those down days or when I'm unwell.
Small cry emoji.
Whenever I am sad, I will use this emoji.
Crocodile tears.
Well, these are just some of the emojis that most of us misunderstand. The list is long, and therefore, we suggest you to put a stop to wrong interpretations and get them right before things get lost in translation. After all, emoji is emerging as a new global language.
The poop emoji.
Crocodile tears.
Angry sun.
Who made this emoticon?
Where do you find such emojis?
I should do some studying. I should get some knowledge about the emoji world.
Alright Ankit, the entire episode has gone by and we have still not answered one query for our viewers, that is, what phone to buy?
And precisely why we have tips and tricks for our viewers to understand that how to buy the right phone.
First thing first, one size doesn't fit all, and that also applies to phones. So go for a phone that you're most comfortable with. Say if you have small hands, go for a screen size not over 5 inches.
Tip number 2. Display is one of the most important things in a phone. After all, we spend a lot of hours looking at it every day. So remember these 2 things. Avoid going for a phone with a display less than 1080p. And if you have a choice, go for OLED over LCD, as it offers better contrast and deeper blacks.
Tip number 3, it doesn't matter how good your phone looks or how bright its display is, because it is the performance of the phone that matters. It is the RAM and processor that determine a phone's performance. While you cannot choose your phone's processor, you can certainly opt for a RAM that is nothing less than 4 GB.
Tip number 4, Android phones work the best when the operating system is in its most basic form. But companies usually load the OS with unneeded apps and redundant software, which not only eats into your storage space but also eventually slows down the phone. So we suggest you to go for a phone with stock Android.
Tip number 5, in the digital world, storage space is never enough. So we suggest you always prefer the highest storage variant, and just in case you cannot afford it, you must opt for nothing less than 64 GB of storage capacity.
Well, the Tech Queen is teaching me quite a lot on the show. So what's next?
Well, before we call it a wrap, it's time to bring you some landmark events which are shaping the world of technology. Here you go.
The FIFA fever is not just gripping people here on Earth, it's catching up with cosmonauts in the space as well. These are Russian cosmonauts kicking a ball around the International Space Station. Look at those spinning kicks and lunging saves. Digital voice assistants are promising, but they're risky at the same time. It was recently discovered that Amazon's Alexa randomly sent an audio recording of a family in Portland to one of their contacts. Isn't it scary? The episode clearly underscores that things can go wrong if virtual assistants like Alexa misinterpret conversations as some commands. We all use various gadgets and eventually dispose them. But ever wonder where do they go? It's been found that Thailand is becoming the new dumping ground for scrap electronics from around the world. The high-tech trash is majorly turning up from Hong Kong, Singapore and Japan. Walmart goes a step ahead to compete with its rivals. The company has introduced a new service called Jet Black, which allows people to place orders using a text message. Interestingly, the delivery will happen on the same day. The new service has currently been launched in parts of New York City. It, however, will be rolled out to the rest of the United States over time.
Well, that's all we had on the show this week for you.
But we have lots more action lined up for you in Tech It Out in the coming weeks.
We'll be back next week, same day, same time.
Until then, keep watching WION.
And yes, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and YouTube.
For now, it's bye-bye from us.
Break it down yourself.
I don't care. First thing first, one size doesn't fit all. So go for a phone. And that also applies for
Until then, go and get a life.
But there's lots more action lined up in Tech It Out.
Spot Dada.
Iced coffee, I'm telling you.
These divas I must tell.
Yeah, you're right.
Gino. They're two different people. Gino is a camera person with long hair, the rough hair. And yes, don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
And Instagram and YouTube. अब मैं ना करूँ.
ऐसे कैसे ना करूँगी? I'm so sorry. I'm going to sit up here. I feel very bad to sit up.
Jalo.
This is fine. He's not happy with my hair. We are just glowing. It's not about lights, it's about the skin.
Yeah. Really glow. Cream size that fits. एक second यार, ये मेरे bangles ना इसमें फंस रहे हैं. They break my chain of thoughts. Irritating.
Bangles. तुम क्या tangible intangible कर रहे हो? Well, that's all we had on the show this week for you. For you as well.
Too tough.
Shut it down. Okay.